it's Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And you're watching Pop Culture News. Alright guys, it's been a big week in a lot of different places in pop culture. So let's start with music because that's where some of the happier news is. So we're going to start with the most important news this week. Britney Spears is releasing music again. So the single, the single that they've been talking about for weeks now, it's a collaboration between her and Elton John on Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer.
Right.
And it's been released, and I've watched it, listened to it, because they don't have a video out, but a video is coming, apparently.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
And to be fair, I never really liked the original song anyway. Like, it's not my favorite Elton John jam.
You know what? It's not one of my favorites, because I do like Elton John a lot, but I did grow to like it after it was in Almost Famous. Then I really,
There's so many more good songs in Almost Famous.
As a lot of people did, but that's the scene where they're on the bus and they're all singing it together, and it just, it got it big in the pop culture again.
I get it. It's just, it doesn't jive with me. I don't like that song.
I would,
this version, it's fine.
I haven't heard it yet.
As someone who didn't like the original song,
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to take a listen for it because I like Elton John and Britney, so.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm just happy that she's doing music again and that she's the only one profiting from it,
I got to say, guys, just follow this woman on Instagram and Twitter. She seems so happy now.
She seems so happy. I fully support that this was her choice to do it, and if she chooses to never make music again, I will support that. I hope she does.
I think eventually she will.
And I hope that it's because she wants to and that it's because she loves it. That's all I want. All right, so moving on to more fun music news. Kelly Clarkson and Dolly Parton are doing a duet for 9 to 5.
This is like
I'm so excited.
This is amazing when you told me this because I grew up on Dolly Parton, and so she's always been a favorite of mine. And then Kelly Clarkson, I had a huge crush on her when she first came around. So
it's a classic song.
Yeah.
It's a classic song.
This
one, I do like that song, so I'm very excited for this collaboration.
Yeah.
And I love when Dolly Parton did Jolene with Miley Cyrus. Oh,
yeah,
it was great.
That was great.
It was great. So she does good duets. That's supposed to be released September 9th. So look for it.
Sweet.
And I'm sure we will give you a link to it as soon as it comes out. All right, so we're going to end music section with a little bit of controversy. The King of Pop controversy. This played out over social medias this week. Rolling Stone featured Harry Styles on the cover of their magazine and dubbed him the new King of Pop. And people had things to say.
Yeah, I have things to say, actually. Hold on.
I fall on the side of, no. Michael Jackson is the king of pop, and fuck you for suggesting otherwise.
I'm sorry, how many hits has Harry Styles had?
Right. Michael's consistently had hits over 4 decades. Over 4 decades. Because even after he died, they were still releasing music and shit. I like Harry Styles' music. Let's put that out there. I like Harry Styles' music.
Watermelon is amazing.
However, sometimes when his new music comes out, I don't automatically know that's him. He sounds just like everyone else.
Agreed.
Michael's voice was one of a kind, first of all. Second of all, throughout his decades-long career, he changed the genre that he was in music over and over again. The reason that pop music grew and changed is directly a result of the influence of Michael Jackson. Anytime that the genre changed, it was because he probably did it first. That's the other thing is he makes fun pop music and stuff, but Michael Jackson's music, a lot of it was fun pop, but a lot of it had some really important messaging behind it.
Sure.
And some of my favorite songs, like They Don't Care About Us, Man in the Mirror, those sort of songs really stuck with me because he had something to say in those songs. Let us know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you think Michael Jackson is still the king of pop, or do you think Harry Styles could come and take that throne?
And if that is something that we are going to decide culturally to do, then should we name a new king of pop every 10 years? Every decade.
Who's the new king of rock and roll? Because Elvis has been dead way longer than Michael. All right, so let's move on from all of that to TV and streaming. So after just one episode, HBO has already greenlit season 2 for House of the Dragon. Shocker.
Well,
they're better about it than Netflix and stuff, though. So
because this is actual HBO. This isn't HBO.
Yeah, no,
Max.
this isn't HBO Max. This is
show.
HBO, and yeah.
So they are smart still, from what we've
well, it's all. The problem is it all falls under Zaslav now.
Well, that's true. So, but he's smart to see how big a hit it was. 'Cause I heard that it just blew away. HBO
it was giant numbers. It was not the night of the Sunday night premiere. 9.9 million people in the U.S. And if you saw, there was a video going around where someone in NYC, they were filming an apartment building, and you could see from the flickers of light from all the windows, every single apartment was watching Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon.
Awesome. Which I think also, this is another thing that Zaslav needs to understand, is that streaming is becoming
event
more
TV,
and is becoming more accessible to everybody that can just have it. Because think about it. Let's say you wanted to watch it on cable. Well, now you got to call the cable company, get the cable guy to come out, install HBO Max. Click, click, click,
there
click.
It is.
There it is.
There it is.
It's impulsive TV.
The number of viewers has since jumped. So as of right now, probably even higher. But as when I read the report, it was over 20 million in the U.S.
Wow.
And like he said, a lot of people were watching. It did wind up crashing HBO's servers, but don't let Zaslav make you think that it was the HBO Max servers. It was not. It was not a bunch of people new signing up for HBO Max.
Nope.
It was the Amazon servers that went down.
The Amazon app, which I used to have before HBO Max came around, and it was like an extra $10 a month or whatever the heck it was. But yeah, all of those were the ones that crashed. Because so that means, again, what I just said about the impulsive buys. Oh, I want to watch this show. Go to your Amazon, which you already have, download the app. So more people were doing that than
going to HBO Max. Because people are pissed at HBO Max. It's
And that's very telling. Because you can to crash Amazon servers.
And not HBO Max's, the ones that's hosting it.
That's telling.
All right, so moving on. Pete Davidson has an upcoming series for Peacock called Bupkis.
Oh, nice.
It'll be loosely based on his life and in the vein of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that kind of humor and stuff.
Oh, so it's going to be like improv, probably.
A little,
probably. Wait, is he in it or is it
Yeah, he's in it. Oh. He's in it. It's loosely based on his life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Edie Falco was already signed on to play his mom.
Okay.
But it was announced Thursday that Joe Pesci will be playing his grandfather.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm going to watch this.
Yep. There's no release date yet, so they're still filming. They're still getting it together. We'll keep you updated with release dates, trailers, anything else we hear, more casting updates, anything else we hear about this. Because it does look, I'm interested.
You want to talk about telling. Now, Pete Davidson is a young talent and is very sought after. You can't tell me that if he wanted to, he couldn't have had his show on NBC.
Right.
I'll bet you he chose Peacock.
Here's the thing, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it's said that at SNL, if you're a cast member, NBC can offer you 3 shows, and you can turn down 2 of them. But if they offer you a third, you have to take the third then. So if they offer,
I have heard
this. And that's why they say that's why Kenan Thompson did this
Kenan show?
the Kenan show that came out, and I don't think it's on anymore.
No,
I think it got canceled. But that's why people are saying he had to do that show, is because he probably already turned down 2 other shows. But that's a rumor that's been going around for a long time, years.
I feel like I saw an old cast member talk about that on the show once. But yeah, I have heard that too. So, and it makes sense because NBC is banking on you're going to become a star.
Off of SNL. Like so many people have.
So why not already tie him into a show deal?
Exactly.
I guess it's smart.
I'm surprised Kenan made it that long. Like,
They must have really waited and offered him things.
Right.
Or maybe,
who knows? This Pete Davidson show could be. I didn't see in the article, but it could be produced through Lorne Michaels. Who knows?
It probably is.
So, again, we'll keep you updated as more info comes. Double check the link, because I might have just missed it, and it might say that Lorne Michaels is part of it in the article. It was 3 a.m. I was reading bleary-eyed, All right, so let's move on from TV and streaming to movie news. Surprise, surprise, WB Discovery Plus is still a big fucking mess. It gets worse and worse by the week, guys.
I'm trying to think. I've read so much. I'm like, have I heard this story or not yet?
We've got a few. Okay, so First of all, with all the shows that have been canceled and everything, the 200 episodes of Sesame Street, the really popular, I forget the other animated show was, but basically all of these popular shows that they're getting rid of, they did Zaslav supposedly did all this because he was trying to get $3 million or $3 billion in debt from the AT&T deal, because they acquired all of AT&T's debt when they took that over, which, why would you make that deal? But whatever. So he was trying to lower it by $3 million and wound up losing, what was it, $5 billion?
Yeah, I think I did hear something about that.
Or $3 billion.
Yeah.
$3 billion. So not a great business move.
No.
And they lost that money directly because they lost subscribers and because people are starting to doubt them.
Yep.
So
once people lose faith in your product, it's hard to get it back.
Yep. And what have we been saying since we've been reporting on this? Who is going to want to work with them, knowing that you put years of your life into this project and it could just get shelved or get a funeral viewing, which we'll talk about those in a minute too. So big movies, I'm sure everybody heard, big movies like Shazam and Aquaman 2 have been pushed back to next year. Yep. And this is supposedly because the studio only has enough money for 3 more theatrical releases this year. They still got stuff they can release on streaming, but they only have enough money for 3 more theatrical releases. And it's going to be Black Adam, Don't Worry Darling, which we'll talk about that in a little bit,
oh boy,
and House Party.
They just can't win. There's nothing that Warner Brothers could do to
That's
win.
That's because they keep hiring the worst people. They keep hiring the worst people.
I know.
Oh my God.
Because, it does cost a lot of money to release a movie, guys.
Yep.
Just because, that's what they don't tell you when they're talking about movies' profits and everything, is how much goes into advertising and then putting the movie out and all of that. So, I still can't believe they don't have enough, but okay.
So, and this is absolutely disgusting. I mentioned this a few minutes ago. This week, they've been doing what insiders have dubbed funeral screenings of Batgirl. Actors, crew members, and executives who worked on the movie were invited to watch, and then after the screenings, all footage would be placed in either a physical or digital vault.
Seriously,
like the Disney vault,
literally throwing in the vault,
like the Disney vault,
literally. Okay.
Reportedly, they also did the same thing for Scoob last week, but it didn't make as big a news as the Batgirl screenings because some of the actors spoke out about it and how devastating it was for them to have, had to do all this work, put all this work into it, go and watch their work, only to know that no one else was ever going to see it. People were saying it's not as bad as everybody was making it out to be, and I knew it. I fucking knew it.
It's not. But they got to say that so they can get the tax write-off. It was unreleasable.
Exactly. So let's move on to full-on DC news, and we'll start with Dan Lin, who is reportedly in talks to take over as the Kevin Feige of DC. So Hamada, out for good.
Yeah,
out.
Thank goodness.
Right. So Dan Lin would oversee movies and television, DC projects, and would report directly to Zaslav. So all of DC, TV, movies, all falls under this guy, and his only boss would be Zaslav.
So basically, he's not a fanboy, though, like Kevin Feige. He's an executive, the way I understand
he's a producer who's produced popular things. His name's attached to popular things.
So therefore, he might have good instincts, but if he doesn't understand
or he's a good money man. He's good at saying, here's my money, spend it and make a good movie.
Which is a talent in itself in order to pick other talent to do that. I understand the position. I guess what I worry about is you can be a smart businessman but not know anything about DC properties
or storytelling.
And then you get somebody pitching you, hey, I want to make Wonder Woman on Mars and all this stuff, and it sounds good to you, and you're like, okay. That's what I think has been happening. So I hope that this guy Lin, I don't know him. I'm not really familiar with his.
I mean, give him a chance is all we can do.
Exactly. And so
I'm not rooting for him to fail, that's for sure. I want a successful DCEU. Yeah. I really do.
And I do know that Matt Reeves signed up with Warner Brothers. He's the first one to sign an exclusive first pitch deal with the new Zaslav.
But they've already upset him by scrapping his animated Batman movie, and now he's got to shop it around other networks, which, by the way,
Matt Reeves was involved in that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
By the way, everyone wants to snap that up. Hulu,
I hope so.
Amazon, like they're all, yeah.
It
So
cool
we
as
will get
hell.
to see this cartoon at some point.
I loved the way the Batman looked like the 1920s, with really long ears, because I think it's a great idea.
Yep.
So, good.
So that's coming.
Okay.
However, there is absolutely not one thing they can do that will make me watch this Flash movie. Not one. I'm so mad. So Wednesday, reportedly, Ezra Miller and their agent met with, and again, I'm going to say this again, I said it last week, Ezra Miller uses they, them pronouns. I'm going to try my best to keep to that for them out of respect. But if I slip up, it's again, no disrespect. I just slipped up. So, Ezra Miller and their agent met with the new WB film execs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Addy to discuss how to keep the Flash on course and for Ezra to apologize for basically making the company look bad.
So they chose option one.
Right. They're definitely choosing option one. I don't understand how this person can go on a worldwide crime spree and, he's the type of villain that should be locked up in Arkham. So from the Hollywood Reporter, we have this quote, and this is the Hollywood Reporter's quote. While the actor is said to not have minded the stream of bad headlines, they were spooked by the notion of the film getting canceled and jolted to take action. Says one source, they care about the Flash. It's one of their favorite characters to play. Oh, really? Johnny Depp lost everything. Johnny Depp lost his favorite role, the role he named his son after. Johnny Depp lost that on a false accusation. Will Smith got a 10-year ban from the Oscars and lost movie roles because he slapped Chris Rock.
Yep.
Who else? The animators at WB who poured years of their work just got all their shit shelved for no reason. They didn't do anything wrong at all. Right. Leslie Grace, she lost her starring role in the Batgirl film, and she's absolutely not problematic at all.
No.
But Ezra Miller can go around hitting multiple women, assaulting multiple women, fucking fighting over karaoke, stealing shit, kidnapping people, grooming someone, starting a cult, and not just in one place. This is a worldwide tour of crime. But he still gets to keep they still get to keep their role. No. No.
I think the executives are just trying to save. They know the movie's quote unquote good according to them, but I don't trust their judgment. 1, 2, but they think that it's good and they think that it's releasable. What they're not considering is the backlash. They're not considering how many people in this day and age won't support content that has obviously terrible people in it. Do I want to see Michael Keaton back as Batman? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is this the way to do it? No. No, it is not. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's a tragedy. This probably is a good movie, but it was a good movie for, let's say, 3-5 years ago.
Yep.
When it probably should have come out.
I think the part that pisses me off the most, too, is, let's not forget, Ezra Miller made taunting videos about how he wasn't going to get caught and all this. They were proud of what they were doing, of the chaos they were sowing in Hawaii and then across the rest of the states and then off into Europe or wherever they went.
So that's what my other thought was. I think the only reason...
they're not sorry.
I think the only reason why they apologized and are trying to do this at all is because Warner Brothers are probably telling them, we will sue you. There's a loss. Who was it? Somebody did get sued recently and they lost because the studio sued them because of their bad publicity. Hurt their movie, and they ended up winning that case, I believe. And I remember reading that it's going to open up the doors to this kind of stuff. Like Amber Heard could get sued, which she probably should. For ruining Aquaman too, but that's also Warner Brothers' fault. So really, I don't think they.
This is all Warner Brothers' fault. It is all that. Now I understand that a lot of these decisions were made by the AT&T guys. I understand that. I do. But if Zaslav's coming in and cleaning house,
exactly,
then what?
What's happening here with the Flash? This is under Zaslav's rule because he made that decision. He canned all those other movies.
Yep.
He promoted Blue Beetle to theaters, and there was another one I just read. Some horror movie got promoted to theaters.
House Party got promoted to theaters. That was supposed to be released on streaming, and that's one of their 3 that they're releasing in theaters this year.
I didn't know they were making another House Party. Is Ken playing it?
I think it's a whole reboot. I don't know.
I doubt it, because they weren't in the direct-to-video.
Clearly, they don't have money to promote these things.
Clearly not. I'm like, House Party. What? 4, 5? What? Okay. Well.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Yep. I don't care if The Flash turns out to be the best movie that ever was or ever will be. I'll never know because I'm never going to see it, ever.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tragedy, so I don't think there's any winners in this, but they need to just bury it. They need to just, if you're going to bury films because of problematic stuff that you say it's so unreleasable, then I think if you release this movie, and let's say it gets 100% Rotten Tomatoes, but nobody comes to the box office for it, you're going to lose so much more than if you want a tax write-off.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know.
Wouldn't the movie that costs so much more and is still costing you more because you're still having to do reshoots and you aren't guaranteed to make your money back on it because of the controversy, wouldn't it be more wouldn't it be smarter to get rid of that one? Instead of the little mini movie that you were going to just release on streaming anyway?
Right.
But no, we're keeping The Flash and problematic Ezra Miller, and we're getting rid of poor Leslie Grace and Batgirl.
When you look at the risk meter of Batgirl versus The Flash, and that's saying that Batgirl's going to go on HBOmax as a stream movie, and Flash is going to go theatrical. The risk is way higher on The Flash, in my opinion. If I was looking at it as an executive point of view, I'm just like, well, this is not only going to cost us money, but it cost us respect in releasing this movie the way it is.
Mm-hmm. With the person that's in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So, whatever. You know what? We're here just to watch this show and just to watch it implode. Right.
Yep.
It just sucks because I do like a lot of Warner Brothers and DC
does, and
stuff.
they're destroying a legacy. Like, Warner Brothers' animation legacy it goes back 100 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were right there with Disney, competing with Disney. Like,
I guess they canceled that new Bugs Bunny show.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure did. Because, Bugs Bunny's not a big part of Warner Brothers or anything.
Bugs Bunny's not problematic,
Well, I mean...
old Bugs Bunny's very problematic. But current Bugs Bunny...
The Bugs Bunny I watched as a kid was very problematic.
And we didn't know.
Right, it's just Bugs Bunny, whatever.
What else is Warner Bros. Fucked up today?
Okay. Let's move on to Don't Worry, Darling. That's another movie that's real messed up behind the scenes right now.
I knew there was more.
So we'll start with the easier of the issues. A clip from the movie has been released, and it's a scene where Harry Styles and Florence Pugh are acting off each other. And the consensus seems to be that it was just mean to make Harry Styles' first acting role against someone who's Oscar nominated.
Hey, it wasn't his first acting role. He was in Dunkirk.
He was in Marvel, bitch.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But yeah, he does okay. But yeah, you can tell that.
I haven't seen the clip yet.
Yeah, you can tell that he's acting.
He's acting. Okay,
you can tell that he's acting, and she is like.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's an actress. But you can't tell, whereas you're like, oh, that's an actor. Like, that's an actor giving lines.
It's an actor who's acting in front of a more experienced, better actor, and therefore it's more
You can tell, exactly. Yeah, Florence Pugh is an amazing actress, so you're going to tell when you can't rise to her level.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the internet's basically decided that... acting might not be Harry's strong suit, although a lot of jokes and points have been made that maybe he was just distracted during filming because he started sleeping with the director. Yeah, for those who don't know, Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles are in a relationship.
I did not know this until you told me earlier today. This is news to me. I've heard of the controversy with Shia LaBeouf, which we're going to get to, but this was news to me. I didn't know this was a thing. And what I see then, now you talking that and the acting thing, now all of a sudden it could, I'm not saying it did, but it could blind her as the
to
director,
how bad he is.
Exactly.
Because it's not even necessarily that he's bad. It's just some people, and we know this with our actors, some people just take a little bit more direction to get there.
Yep.
And they can get there.
Most of them, they can. I believe that most of people can be directed to get there. Believe me, I have had to take non-actors and literally shoot them line for line and then cut it all together and make it work somehow.
And they look great in it.
And they look great in it. You'll never know.
Yep.
But, so I know it can be done. But I think that could be a factor. That could be a huge factor.
That's what a lot of people are pointing out. Is like, well, maybe he was too distracted to be acting. You know, like.
I think it falls on the director.
It does.
I think
it does. And not only that, she's older.
Yeah. I think it falls on the
I mean,
director.
he's no teen boy anymore. Like, I think he's like 29 or 30 or something now.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to blame the woman.
And she's not like 60 or anything, but.
No, and I'm not trying to blame the woman or anything, but I just think.
No, it's a director. If it was a male, female, it would be the same thing.
The director's fault for allowing that acting.
You want a relationship with one of your actors, maybe wait till the project's done. Yeah. Or maybe till your divorce is fully settled and you're not getting served divorce papers on stage, but we'll get to that later. So now
it just keeps going.
Right. So now we'll get to the more we're on Don't Worry Darling specifically.
Right. Okay.
So we'll get to Olivia Wilde herself in a little while.
It all connects.
Right. It all connects. So for the more difficult issue, for those who don't know, Shia LaBeouf was originally cast in the movie to play Harry Styles' part. Then came out the story from FKA Twigs, who was dating him, or they had some kind of relationship at the time. And she said that he did bad things. He beat her, and all kinds of stuff. And he has come out and said and admitted and said, yes, I did that bad thing. I did hurt her. I'm trying better. And he's recently decided he's going to convert to Catholicism because I guess why not go to the religion that protects abusers?
Oh, that's not the okay.
So, Olivia, but that's all fine. That all happens. Like, people get fired, unless you're Ezra Miller or Amber Heard, people get fired when they're problematic from their projects. So, when Olivia Wilde came out and claimed that she fired him because Florence Pugh was uncomfortable having him on set, nobody thought twice about it. That made sense. Okay, cool. And she, went on, but then she kept going. And she went on about how this is a feminist movie, and she couldn't have someone like that star in it, and she had to look out for her lead actress, and she just kept piling it on and piling on every time she would do an interview and talk about it.
And the way I understand it, it wasn't people were asking about it. She was volunteering this information, like as just stories she was telling.
Right, because you didn't even know Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be
No, I didn't know
like,
until this whole video thing came out.
Exactly.
I had no clue.
Well, Shia LaBeouf has come out and he's like, look, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm trying to turn my life around, so I can't have people out here spreading lies to me. And guess what? Shia had the receipts. So his story is that he didn't get fired. He quit. And the reason he quit was because he was not being given... he's got a certain method acting he does, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he claims that he wasn't being given enough rehearsal time with the other actors. And so that's why he wanted to leave. And then he said that she emailed him and she sent him a video and she did all this stuff to try and beg him to come back while putting down Florence Pugh. And everyone's like, no, well, she's been protecting Florence. She's been all this. And turns out, nope, they were right. And the video got released. And it sure is. It's her basically talking to Shia, asking him to come back. And what was the quote? Saying, quote, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo. Bitch!
I hate that so much. The way she says it in the video is so demeaning and so just...
who the fuck you think you're talking to?
I couldn't. Right.
Like, girl, you are not even close to Florence Pugh's talent.
And what made me also mad when I heard that and saw that video was I bet she was telling Flo the exact opposite thing,
And that's why everybody thinks that there was that tension between her and Florence Pugh during, because there's been rumors from set coming out that Florence Pugh did not get along with Olivia Wilde, and there's a bunch of different reasons. There's the fact that she didn't like that Olivia decided to start banging Harry.
Well, that's a little unprofessional. I'm just saying.
And that she felt lied to, she felt manipulated, like all kinds of stuff, that they just weren't getting along. And so Florence has come out, and it kind of leads credence to the rumors, because Florence has come out and said that I believe it's only the Italian fest, or some kind of film fest or whatever, where they're doing the premiere. She said she'll do that, but she's not doing any other promo on this movie at all. And that is rare. Like, it's usually written into their contracts.
Exactly.
She basically said, bitch, I'm not doing it.
I don't blame her, because honestly, I think if I saw that video and someone was talking about me in that way,
Little Miss Flo.
I'd be a little irritated.
Yep. My favorite tweet about all of this, and this will lead into our next story, but my favorite tweet about all of this is someone tweeted out, "We're a couple days away from finding out Olivia Wilde served her self-custody papers." All right, so let's go ahead and go right into celebrity news. Because Olivia Wilde, for those who don't know, is going through a divorce with Jason Sudeikis. And a few weeks ago, he served her with divorce papers while she was on stage. Like, it's an embarrassing video. Like, I felt for her. I did. Yeah. Because she's sitting there talking, and someone comes up, and she thinks they're handing her a script or something, and then she opens it, and she's like, oh, it's divorce papers. And, you know, people have been asking about it, but she finally broke her silence, and she's saying that basically it wasn't good for the kids, and blah, 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 and her main quote was basically, well, there's a reason we're getting divorced. But I think that goes both ways. I mean, I think he's got his reasons for wanting to divorce her too, and I think we're finding out that maybe one of them is that she's a fucking liar. I care about the previous story we were talking about, where she pretended she was standing up for an actress when it turned out she wasn't. She was stabbing her in the back. I mean,
and I can understand, because, you know, I think she says something in the video, or maybe it's a quote that we'll swear, where Florence Pugh has a different acting style than Shia LaBeouf, and that was causing their conflict, because she didn't want to do whatever the heck Shia LaBeouf wanted to do. Yep.
And let me remind you, because of his acting style, now this, I don't know fully if this is true, but I've heard that it is. Shia LaBeouf reportedly shot a dog because he was in character.
Oh, I don't know, heard that, but that's true. Fuck him.
That was a story going around Twitter. So again, rumors, but
I don't like this whole method acting thing.
Well, let's put it this way: Shia LaBeouf never should have been cast in the first place. He's one of these problematic men who's been problematic for a long time, but yet still keeps getting fucking work. He's not exactly a fucking genius in his craft.
I'm not gonna lie, I do find it funny that's Warner Brothers again. Like, I mean, they just can't win.
They can't win. Like, Warner Brothers can't, and it's because they keep hiring. Look, Olivia Wilde. There's been stuff said about her. She's been a little problematic in the past. She said some transphobic stuff. She said some racist stuff. So maybe they shouldn't have hired her to begin with, or maybe they shouldn't have let her hire Shia LaBeouf. Why is WB keep hiring these problematic people? Well, let's move on from all of that to completely different celebrity news. So yeah, that's all we've got for you today.
Awesome.
Please let us know your thoughts down in the comment on any or all of the stories that we told you today.
Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there, and hit that bell so you can get all of our news stories that are coming up and future videos whenever we decide to make them.
Right.
We're not on a schedule yet.
No. We're working on it.
We're working on it. We're just very busy. It's Halloween time.
Right.
We're really busy on the other channel.
Yeah, if you noticed, if you noticed my makeup is a little heavier today, it's because we were filming earlier and I had to play a fortune-telling gypsy. So
Yep. It was so much fun, guys. If you want to see clips of that, go over to our Twitter page. All right, I think I've said enough now. I think I'm time to shut up.
All right, and I'm going to go talk over here.
Okay, bye.
Shia. I just went riding my horse, very sweaty, but I wanted to reach out because I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this yet, and I too am heartbroken, and I want to figure this out. And you know, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot with me, with us. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think? Is there hope? Is there hope? Will you let me know? Okay, bye.